Welcome back to Let's Talk. I'm Sharaad, with me, Zena and Dominic. We're talking about the Ahimsa Life Festival happening on the 21st to 23rd of February. It's going to be happening in Publica. There's more information at the website. You'll put below the screen. There was something you said, Zena, that really struck me about how maybe more women will access this festival than you think men will, at least in this first iteration. And Dominic, I wanted to ask you about this because there's something about us men, I think, that, and I see this all around me, that women, especially older women, or as women age, they're much more open for new experiences than men are. And men are much more resistant, think they know it all, or skeptical, deeply skeptical about chances for renewal. Why do you think we men are so resistant?
For me, it's the way I've been brought up, really. And we leverage a lot on the masculine side of the balance. There's a masculine and feminine. And the masculine is the more intellectual element, the more logical, arithmetical side of our being. And when we start leveraging more on that side than the feminine side of our being, we tend to want to have a reason for doing things, a scientific justification. Can or cannot, does it make sense before we want to actually experience something? And therein lies the limitation. We sort of put on our own rose-tinted glasses, we look at our world through that, and we don't want to make change, or we are afraid to make change. So part of my involvement, and I'm the only man in the organizing committee, is for me to start exploring elements which I would not otherwise explore. The creative, the more feminine, softer side of things, where, dare I say, talk about love. And as I explore that, then find that balance where I'm able to make decisions, which is not based just on logic. And that requires me to actually let go and to actually be okay with free falling. Okay, let's experience it. Does it work? Does it not work? And then make my decision. Oftentimes I make my decision last time. No one can convince me. If my mind says no, there's no way I'm going to do it.
That's probably the lawyer in you, isn't it?
And but since you brought it up, it's for instance, because there's 5 of us, there's a couple of fairies in our group, and they're like, they want a fairy garden and and a unicorn ride. So at our festival, we'll have unicorn ride and fairy garden for children. And me being a practical person, I go, what's that? What's that for? You know, we don't need that. And he goes, because you want children to believe in fairy dust and crystals, and so we have a fairy garden and unicorn rides.
I mean, kids are, and I think it's probably a truism, are very open. I mean, they're at the stage of their lives where they're open to all kinds of possibilities, right? So, but I'm assuming that, okay, the fairy dust, I think, metaphorically speaking, that all the stuff that you're doing here is also based on science, right? It's based on reason. It might not be the hard logic of things, but it is based on a sense of what the body can do. Yoga is a constant experimentation with the body, isn't it? Right. I mean, how do you want people to approach this, Dominic? Do you want people to kind of just write this off as some sort of, you know, exuberant celebration of life where it's going to have no impact except being fun, or do you want them to see this as a real possibility for transformation?
I want them to come in and see this as a possibility for real transformation. And you mentioned it about kids, and you mentioned it about openness. You know, as kids, we haven't gone through life. We haven't experienced a lot of things which form the base for judgments and beliefs that we have, which tend to restrict us as we move on through life. And all this festival is to allow each and every one of us, regardless of gender, regardless of age, to actually reconnect with something inside them. And that journey is a journey back to you or to me. And that journey is a very, very short journey. It's how do I move from my head to my heart? Because all these things that we do is actually, there are modalities which allow us to connect with who we truly are. It is only, anything which is fear-based is only fear-based because of a judgment or belief that we have. How do we cast that aside? Whether it's in the physical, through yoga, the mental through meditation, or the emotional through any other modality, how do we use that to help us live a life which is heart-based, love-based? And in that living, only then can we begin to start connecting with other people. Case in point is me. For the longest time, Mum riled me up over many, many small things.
As our mums do.
In these 4 years, I've learned to understand why she is the way that she is and to be okay with it. Because I recognize that I can't change her. The only person, accept her for who she is. The only person I can change is me. How do I go about changing me? And that is being open enough to explore. And that's what I want people to do. Come to the festival, explore what's available with an open mind, and try. Now, if it doesn't work, it's good. Try something else, but don't give up. Don't give up and, like me in the old days, go back into my room, close the curtains, and suffer.
Right. And I guess, you know, the big thing here is being willing to try, right? I mean, Zena, who have been the biggest supporters of this festival for you? I mean, in actually pulling it off? Because I know apart from the ideas and the concepts and the curation, there's the real business of putting a festival together. It's nuts and bolts, it's logistics, and it's money. Who have been your supporters?
We have AXA Insurance.
AXA Affin General Insurance.
Yes, AXA Affin General Insurance, Alliance Bank, and Global Doctors. They are the sponsors of our first festival. Actually, it's a great thing that they decided to come on with us, especially as we haven't had a festival, you know, to prove ourselves yet. So we're very lucky to have them. Who else are our sponsors?
Well, you mentioned Global Doctors, and that's one name I don't recognize. What is Global Doctors, Dominic?
Global Doctors are a healthcare service provider based out in Mount Kiara. And the beauty about it is that it is a perfect fit for us. They have all kinds of consultative services, but what they were able to offer us was actually a partnership where they could combine Western medicine in terms of talks with our Eastern modalities. For example, we're organizing a talk in our learning circle on women's health. So what is it from a Western perspective? What does science actually say, Western science say about obstetrician and gynecology? How is this supported from the Eastern traditions? And allow us to create some sort of forum where people can come together and discuss. You know, so they provide us with a whole load of things such as defibrillators for our events. They provide emergency medics to support us. But they've been really, really supportive, and supportive in the sense of, I see what it is, I see how I can play a part. Let's just go and do it.
All right, wonderful. Okay, and very quickly, Zena, ticketed events, or is it free? How do people find out which is which, and do they have to sign on beforehand, before the actual festival?
Well, they've got to come on to www.ahimsaasia.com. All the events will be placed there. There's complimentary talks in the learning circle. Every hour we'll have a different type of talk from different practitioners. We have in the AXA Arena, or what we call the black box, we've got bigger sized workshops and yoga classes, IMP movement with Melissa Indot. We have some relationship talks with Lynette Tan. So we have, you know, interesting people. Octavia Wilkinson is in the black box, and then there's the white box, or what we call the Soul Hub. We've got little healer booths with healers, different types of healers that you can try. So definitely go.
So those are free, and some of them are ticketed.
Yes. So they've got to get online, and you'll find that there's a lot of complimentary stuff as well as ticketed stuff.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining me on my show and helping me understand what's going on. Remember, it's the 21st to the 23rd of February. That's next month, the Ahimsa Life Festival happening out in Publica in Mount Kiara. That's all we have for Let's Talk today. Join me next week on this very show, only on Astro AWANI.